Hey guys, it's Caroline, and today I'm going to be teaching you how you can rent a long-term apartment or house in Italy. First of all, I'm sorry I didn't post a video last week. I will be posting 2 this week to make up for it, but I had a very busy week last week. Also, if you like my sweatshirt, my boyfriend designed this too. He has an Etsy shop, so make sure to check it out. I'll link it below. You guys should definitely go support it, and there's a lot of fun stuff on there. Okay, getting into the video now. So if you're looking for a long-term rental in Italy, meaning anywhere between 6 to 12 months, which would require a contract, there are 3 ways to do that. And I'm gonna be going in order from the most expensive to the most affordable options. So the very first option is going through Airbnb. They do offer long-term rentals, but they're much pricier than if you go through like a local agency in your city. So I've rented once through Airbnb when I was living in Florence. I was a student there, and I think I rented just for like 6 months. A very cool apartment in Santo Spirito, and I thought it was a great setup at the time. It was my first time renting a place on my own in Italy, and I just figured the price seemed fair because I was comparing it to American rent prices, but actually I was paying way more than I needed to. So I have talked about that in another video, like the specifics on what I was paying for that apartment in Florence, but today I'm gonna be focusing on La Spezia because I am currently looking for an apartment in La Spezia, which is on the coast in the north of Italy. And I figured since I'm doing my own apartment searching right now, I might as well take you guys along with me, and this is a process I'm going through at the moment. I've gone through it before, but since it's fresh and happening right now, I figured this would be a great video to share. So basically, the first option being Airbnb, I went and checked out what some Airbnbs would cost long-term in La Spezia. I obviously won't be using that option, but just to show you guys kind of what prices there are. So they range between 2,000 to 4,000 per month in La Spezia. They are discounted. So when you go on Airbnb, you'll see the listed price, which is the original price it would cost if you were paying their full fee. But since they offer long-term rental discounts, they'll have that crossed out and then the actual price to the right of it. So that's the actual price of the Airbnb, but that's still very high. Obviously with Airbnb, the nice thing is that you can leave reviews and you can read other people's reviews. And so that is a perk of using Airbnb, whereas if you go through an agency, you can't see what people's experiences were with their landlords or just with the apartment or house in general. So I will say one big perk of Airbnb is being able to read those reviews and see what real people are saying and what real experiences they're having with these homes. But that being said, you will spend about a quarter of that probably or less if you rent another way. So the second way that you can rent a long-term apartment or house in Italy is through an apartment agency. So you basically can just go on Google and search agenzia immobiliare and then the name of your city. So in my case, agenzia immobiliare La Spezia, and then it will pop up some different rental agencies in your city, and you can just contact them and see where they're located, set up an appointment with them, and then have basically like a team working to help you find an apartment that meets your needs within your price range, the amount of rooms, bedrooms, all the amenities you're looking for. So they're basically a team that is there to help you find your place, and they have access to many different spots in the city, and they'll set up apartment tours for you, they'll get you in touch with landlords, they'll do all of that. So that makes it a lot less on you. But the only thing with that is you will need to pay a fee to that agency. So typically they charge a month's rent as their fee for helping you. So let's say your rent was like $500, $600 per month or euros, they would charge you that amount. So some people would rather avoid that because you are paying like double rent the first month basically. But it also does take a lot of stress off of you to have someone helping you with your apartment search and knowing exactly what you're looking for and where to find it for you. So that is a big plus in using an apartment agency. I've never used an agency myself, but I have friends who have and they've loved their experience. So I would say it's definitely an option and more affordable than Airbnb for sure. All right, so the third and final option is to do your own research online. And the way you can search for a house or apartment long-term in Italy is by searching appartamento or casa. So appartamento if you're looking for an apartment, casa if you're looking for a house, and then in affitto, which means for rent, and then the name of your city. So in my case, La Spezia. So I can search appartamento in affitto La Spezia, and it will come up with a bunch of websites where people list their houses or their apartments for rent in La Spezia. And you can see sites like immobiliare.it, casa.it, subito.it. I'm saying punto because we say that instead of dot, but casa.it, immobiliare.it, idealista.it. Those are all the names of some websites that are really popular in Italy for rentals, and they're very trustworthy. So basically when you go and click on one of their websites, it will open up a bunch of apartment options. Some apartments are empty and are not furnished at all. Some of them also don't have kitchens, which is another thing you need to pay attention to, because it's very common in Italy for people who rent out their apartments to not have a kitchen there for you. So you basically have to bring your own kitchen with you and install it, and then bring it with you whenever you move out, including like your stove, oven, sink, countertops, everything. Like, it's just a completely empty space when you move in, and it's up to you to install everything. So I avoid that. I obviously don't want to have to do that when I move into a place, but if you're signing like a 5-year contract or something, that might make more sense to just bring your own kitchen with you, and you might be okay with that. With my rentals, I like to have a place that already has a kitchen installed. You'll also notice that some places are fully furnished, whereas others are not, and it's good to check because some places might be furnished in the photos but not be furnished when you move in. I always look for a furnished place because I don't have my own furniture in Italy right now, and I just feel like it's easier to move from place to place without bringing all of my stuff with me. Obviously just my clothes and personal belongings, but not having to buy furniture when I move into a place is a big plus, and it's pretty easy to find a fully furnished place in Italy. So that is a possibility. You do not have to furnish your own place in Italy, and a lot of times they have really nice furniture in their spaces. So the next thing you'll notice is the prices. They're way different. That's probably the first thing you notice, but the next thing I'm going to talk about is how low the prices are here. So they're anywhere from like 500, 600, 700. Yeah, much lower than Airbnb. And these are the prices of apartments if you go through an agency too, but remember there is that agency fee you have to pay. It's a one-time fee, so it's not a big deal, but it is just an extra cost to keep in mind. So if you go through these websites, they have an option to contact or call if you're interested in a space. And I'm currently using this method. I'm trying not to go through an apartment agency if I can avoid that, but I will if I need to. I head back to Italy in March and will be looking for a place long term. So right now I've started apartment hunting just online on my own and through word of mouth. I obviously have friends over there who are helping me in case they do hear of any properties for rent. Rent is very affordable in Italy, which is one of my favorite things about living there. And the cost of the apartment almost never will include utilities, electricity, and water. So keep that in mind. That obviously will be added on to the cost of rent. And when you're looking at an apartment, it's important to scroll down and look at the information on the apartment under costs, because it will say their cost for the rent, but there might be condominium expenses on top of that, which are, I don't really know if that's the right term in English, but they're extra expenses on top of your rent that are like a set cost every month. So for example, this apartment, it's 600 per month, and it seems like a pretty reasonable price, but then you scroll down and you see there's 117 euro fee per month for condominium fees, and so that means rent is actually 717 euros per month. So it's good to just check those details, because sometimes the cost of rent is more than it appears at first glance. So it's important to double check those extra costs when you're looking at a listing. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you're looking for a place long-term in Italy, I'm super excited for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao for now.
Ain't no off season, I gotta keep going till I stop breathing. Guap scheming, I'm finna go and blow up when I shop. Demons know they see me, can't ignore my hustle, know they watch. Even lost meaning, had to look within, I had some long evenings.